Now, with Nolan, do you feel that your task is to help them understand and help yourself understand what they want? Have you ever had conflicts with directors where you said, I don't agree?
How much truth would you like?
Well, I mean, we're not. My rule on this show is I don't want to
ruin my career.
No, your career can't be ruined.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is, are you there to perform what they want, or do you consult with them?
The director has to trust his composer. And ultimately, the composer needs to go and buy into the director's vision. But music is indefensible. I can write you something and play it to you, and I think it's the greatest fucking thing, and I just answered every question you ever had about your character, whatever, and you don't get it, and it doesn't resonate. So there's no way I can sit there and explain to you why you should like it. It either resonates or it doesn't. That's number one. The other thing is, I like working with directors who spend a minimum of time talking to me about what music they want. Because as soon as they start talking to me about what music they want, my mind goes off into that thing of going, my job is to do something that they can't even imagine. My job is to knock their socks off. My job is to do something that is so beyond anything that they could do, because otherwise they'd do it themselves. And it makes me rather redundant, or it makes me a musical secretary.
Do you think that someone, to use a more celebrated example, because everybody knows the story about Alex North's composition for Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Do you think that someone like Kubrick lunged in the direction of the classical repertoire because he knew what the music was? He didn't have to wait for somebody to write it. There it is, extant, it's real. I know I want, von Karajan with the Vienna and this and that. Just play the Blue Danube, and he doesn't have to rely on anybody. Do you find that there are some directors who they just don't want to give that control?
Well, it's not just that. First of all, I should let you know that Stanley Kubrick was the first director that ever fired me.
What film?
Full Metal Jacket. And Vivian, his daughter, took over. But it became this weird, strange thing. So I was I was maybe 18, 19. But as soon as I was fired, in other words, because I didn't know how to do what he wanted me to do. Because Stanley Kubrick knew everything. He had studied drumming with Gene Krupa. He just wanted me to be his musical secretary, and I'm not very good at that.
Take dictation, yeah.
Absolutely, take dictation. I would get these tapes sent, drumming with 10 fingers on his tabletop, and go, well, get a drummer to do exactly that. And, so that didn't work. But then, once I was officially fired, I would get these phone calls where he would go, I think Vivian's in a bit of trouble. Can you go up there and see if she's all right?
Yeah.
Or he'd go, what do you think of Dolby Stereo? I'm 18 years old. I have no idea. I'm talking to Stanley Kubrick.
How did you end up, you're 18 years old. How does an 18-year-old Hans Zimmer wind up within 50 miles of Stanley Kubrick? How did that happen?
Anton Furst, his designer, who knew me. They were shooting Full Metal Jacket in the Docklands of London. And I knew Vivian, who then took over. And so I was really helping Vivian at a certain. And then years later, I ran into Vivian, and I was just on my way to London. She said, oh, you really should go and see Dad. I'm going, why would I go and see him? And she goes, no, he's always talking about you. Whenever a movie comes on television that you did, he's always saying, I found him. I was the first one who gave... He forgets the other part. But, and I was really busy, and I had to go down to Australia from London. So I didn't go and see him, because I thought that Stanley Kubrick is beyond, he's immortal, because he was Stanley Kubrick.
Sure.
And I get to Australia, I get to Sydney, and the guy who's picking me up from the airport, coincidentally, was a chap who I'd met on Full Metal Jacket, and he's got a really sad face. And I realized that, Stanley had died, which was inconceivable to me.
Sure.
And I learned... Don't say no. If somebody says, hey, come on over.
Interesting.
You come over. And I learned a lot from him. I learned vast things from him,